Hello. Have we got a good topic for you tonight? Welcome to my channel. My name is Savella. I love, and here we are healing one heart at a time, one soul at a time, getting back to living and loving life again after major loss or major life transition. Now, here our topics are all associated with grief and loss, but there's one thing that people just don't talk about when it comes to grief because it's not real sexy. And you know why? Because it's sex. Sex and grief. Oh my goodness. This is something that comes up so often, and yet nobody's really talking about it. I've had client after client say, Sevilla, I want to screw everybody I meet. What is going on? Seriously, widows that tell me they had a husband and that was the only person they'd ever been with since like age 17. Then all of a sudden, getting widowed in their 40s or 50s, they find themselves at the bar and going home with a different guy, every weekend. And they'd never done that before. They just can't get enough. Or men that are seeking, various women online and, have this dating thing that's just out of control. I mean, it is a huge secret for people. And so tonight we're going to put this on the table and we're going to get real about sex and grief because this is a big issue and it's important. Now, there's people that don't have a sense of sexuality after loss, and that's going to be a different video. Okay? That's going to be a different video. Tonight we're just talking about hypersexuality after a loss. Okay? So primarily, we have a lot of widows that attend on this channel. And just know that this can pertain to a different type of loss as well. You may have lost a sibling, you may have lost a best friend, you may have lost a parent, and all of these things can come up for you and create this unusual for you sense of sexuality. You might go out and you're feeling just great about all the sex you're having with all these different people. On the other hand, you might be feeling guilty about it. On the third hand, you might be worried about the choices that you're making. Am I being safe? I know I'm not being safe. Am I having safe sex? Do I even care? Are you throwing caution to the wind about the choices that you're making when you're out there engaging with other people sexually? Am I putting myself at risk? So you might not even feel guilty. You might just be worried about the choices that you're making and wondering why you're acting out, and you're afraid to tell anyone about it because maybe you're early in your loss and you don't want people to judge you. Maybe you're traveling a town or two away so you can have your hookups, and so nobody knows what you're doing. I'm talking to you. I'm just kidding. But I know there's many of you out there that are having this experience. Or maybe you're just laying in bed at night and your mind is going wild with sexual fantasy. You may be thinking about things that never really occurred to you or took much of your attention in the past. You might be thinking, gosh, am I going to be the newest member of the LGBTQ community? If you're not already LGBTQ, that is. Maybe you actually have been in a lesbian marriage for years and years and years, and now suddenly you find yourself wanting to go sleep with men. Where did that come from? So it's different for different people. And just know, number one, you've got to know you're not crazy. You're not crazy. You've had a huge loss, a traumatic loss. Now, if it was a long-term experience where the person was sick and you were caring for them, and now you're out on the other side, there is this sense of relief, not relief that the person's gone, but relief of the heavy responsibility that you were carrying for so long. And now that's suddenly gone. And so the top's popped off and it's all coming out in crazy directions because everything that's going on inside here makes no sense. And sometimes sex makes sense. It's easy. You touch a person, they touch you, you get turned on, you have an engagement, you kiss, you have sex, whatever it is, you have an orgasm, and you feel better. Great. I'm happy for you. But are you making choices that are allowing you to stay safe? That's a big question. Now, if you don't know how to stay safe when you're out there engaging with random people or going home with strangers, I highly recommend that you Google how to stay safe. Okay? There's lots of things out there. There's apps out there that can help you. So please do that, even if you're a man, because you never know when you're going to hook up with that crazy, crazy person that's going to track you down and make your life miserable. So, not to mention, anybody could get violent. So be careful, please. Please be careful. But just know that you're not crazy about that. Now, the other fear you might have is, I'm getting sexual with people and I'm afraid of hurting them because I know I'm not ready. I just want to have sex. I can't give anybody my heart right now. I can't give anybody my time or my private life. I'm just not there. So to ask yourself, are you connecting and hooking up with people who have a mutual interest in mind, which is they only want to hook up versus a relationship? Now, sometimes hookups can lead to relationships, so be aware of that, because you can form bonds in that way. It can happen. And sometimes I've known a lot of widows that have gotten into bad relationships because they have this pain, this emptiness inside, and then they start having sex with someone and that they get this attachment going on, and then they find themselves in a bad relationship that they actually wouldn't have gotten in were they in their right mind to begin with. So be careful. Now there's a potential option for all of these things that will keep you, something that will keep you safe, and something that will keep you from harming someone else before you are really ready to love again. Okay? And that is sex toys. Yes, don't go away. Don't go away. It may not be your thing, but maybe, just maybe, it would be okay for you to do something that feels good for you, something to get the endorphins rushing and for you to get those feel-good hormones going, because that's good for you. And it's safe. You're not going to harm anyone else. You're not going to get an STD. And there's all kinds of crazy stuff out there. It's unbelievable, the things that are out there in regards to sex toys. So I want to advocate for you to take care of yourself in whatever way that you need to do that, and to be mindful of the choices and behaviors that you're engaging in right now, so you don't bring more harm onto yourself or put yourself in a vulnerable situation. Because when we're deeply grieving, sometimes we just don't give a shit. We just don't give a shit. Excuse my language, but it's true. And so protect yourself from yourself by making a plan, staying safe, connecting with people who are like-minded. If you're going to connect with people, you're very clear up front about what you want and what you don't want. Very clear. Or take the third option and stay home with yourself. Search the internet for all kinds of crazy sex toys. And get your hormones going and allow yourself to really sit with this new person that is emerging, because you're in a situation that you're finding this new part of yourself that you didn't know existed, or that had been buried for so long you forgot that person existed. And it's okay for him or her to come out. It's okay to experiment, because this is kind of like being a teenager again when you've been widowed, particularly because you have to completely remake yourself. You don't even know who you are anymore. And so if you find yourself going, 2 or 3 towns away to have a hookup, you're hiding it from yourself. And you're hiding it from other people, because you might be doing it because you don't want anyone to know what you're doing. And that's okay. You have a right to your own privacy, because people can and will be judgmental, especially if you're early in your loss. Now, if you are early in your loss and you're feeling guilty about this, just know that you're not alone, okay? It's really common for someone who's been widowed to get this hypersexuality and to engage with someone else or multiple people very quickly. And I don't care if you're in your 60s or 70s, you may just be fully awakened again. It happens. And I have clients that are like that. And it's happened for them and it scared the hell out of them. So don't be scared of yourself. Just keep yourself safe and consider your options. Search the internet for safety protocols, okay? Because there's always a willing partner out there. Be true to yourself. Allow yourself to really explore this new you, okay? And respect the fact that this is something that you want, okay? If you're really struggling with this, know that I take private clients and you can find out more about me on the information page of this video or on the About section of my channel. Please take very good care of yourselves. Honor your desire to have a desire and then make a choice that's appropriate for you and know that this will ebb and come to a balance in time that suits you well as you heal. Good night.